Monogam-ish contains content intended for mature audiences. The views expressed here are for entertainment purposes only. Please enjoy the show.
Of course, the ranch, everybody knows the ranch here in town, and I was a member out there for a couple of years. And so we would go 2 or 3 or 4 times a month because you can go as many times as you want when you're an annual member. So we'd been there, oh heavens, this was prior to my lovely Danyell's days, but so I was there with another gal, and we were having a wonderful conversation with a couple we'd just met. And all of a sudden I noticed someone out of the corner of my eye that I knew my date would want to know was there. And so I very rudely interrupted their conversation, and I said, I don't mean to interrupt, but look right over there. And here comes my oldest daughter and son-in-law approaching.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Hi, Ishes. I'm Justina.
And I'm Kenji.
And we're Monogam-ish. All right, Ishes, we just finished another great episode that you guys are getting ready to hear.
Yep, with Ken and Danielle. Oh, amazing couple.
Yeah, they're really awesome people.
So I have a question. How do you deal with being essentially attacked inside of your own community?
Right.
Like Ken and Danielle did.
Oh, man, yeah, and we've had this happen to us.
Yeah.
You know, a couple different times, you know, with some different people. And it's, man, it's hard. It is hard.
It is. I think, you know, if you're being attacked because of good reason, so if you've done something wrong within the community, if you're constantly ignoring consent or, you know, breaking rules, whether it's at a house party or a public place, you need to be called out and you need to be held accountable.
Exactly.
But when it's something like this where, you know, they got called out, and you guys will hear more about it in the show, for having personal parties at their house. And
Or just having parties in general.
yes. And it's not only the type of party that they were having that these people were called out for, but they added stuff onto them. Like they're giving alcohol to minors. There's kids involved.
There's prostitution happening.
Yeah.
And you don't understand that this can really fuck with people's lives. This is their families. This is their kids. This is their jobs. This is them losing their house.
Their livelihood.
Their livelihood over something that was consensual and, you know, that has no involvement with kids whatsoever. Most of these parties that we've gone to are 21 and up, period.
Oh, yeah. You know, no illegal drugs are being sold here.
No.
You know?
It's not about
there's,
that.
There's no prostitution. There's
No.
no money exchanging hands. This is between 1 to 20 consensual adults.
Yes.
You know, everybody's in on it.
Right.
It's really just the, petulant, childlike tantrum. They're having parties. Meh. Well, I'm going to call the sheriff's department and say that all this stuff's happening so they can get their party shut down. Meh.
Right.
Ugh.
It's just inappropriate behavior all around, and it shouldn't be in any community. Like, if
No.
you have a problem with somebody, you should go to that person and directly let them know. You shouldn't be using the police or using
The sheriff's
the
office.
sheriff's office or the public
county.
works county for all of your own personal issues. Like they weren't doing anything to hurt anybody or hurt the community, and somebody took it upon.
Well, except for that pinwheel. That was a pretty offensive pinwheel.
I know, right?
You guys will hear about the pinwheel later in the show.
But what kind of shitty place are we living in now where, you know, you get these anonymous calls, these anonymous tips, and, you know, you have to go, all the cops and everything are involved. Well, why the fuck is that?
Right.
Why aren't you investigating this anonymous tip, first of all? First of all, why is it anonymous? If you're going to give me this tip, fuck no. You should better give up your name, your fucking address, your number, all this shit. So in case, we come back and we find that shit not happening.
Right? Own your shit. PCG.
Own your motherfucking shit. You know?
Own your shit.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, don't be scared when your ass gets called out for it.
That's
because
fucking right.
It's not okay. It's not appropriate behavior. And as a community in the whole, personally, I believe that the people that were responsible for this shouldn't be involved in the ranch or any of our clubs anymore.
Yeah, you should be kicked out.
Yeah, if you want to turn on your own community members and put them on blast and send their pictures, you know, their private pictures that you pulled off online without their consent to strangers and, you know, put them and their lives, their jobs, their homes, their kids at stake, then you shouldn't be part of the community anymore.
Absolutely.
And how come these people aren't arrested
Right.
and charged? Because what they did was really some felonious shit.
Right.
You know? And you're going, wait a second, you know, if you know the names, if you know what's going on, if you know the backstory there, why aren't these people in jail?
Right. And
or charged with some sort of crime?
At this point, you know, we don't have the option of doing that. It's neither here, there, nor there. But we do have the option of knowing who these people are
and
calling them out and making sure that they don't get invited to other parties or have the opportunity to do this to other people because it needs to end here.
Or if we see them at other parties, I'm definitely going to let the fucking owners know, hey, do you know what these people are doing?
And what they've done.
And what they've done, and this is what's going on.
Right.
And I'll call them out into their fucking face. You fucking know I will. God damn it.
All right, Ishes, you know what to do. Get your popcorn, get your drinks, get ready for another great episode. You're going to hear all about this, and you're going to hear the wonderful way that Ken and Danielle handled this whole situation.
They're very, very tactful.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't forget, if you want to support us, we still have our Cash App. Don't forget to look for Monogam-ish Pod in all one word for Cash App. Or if you want to support us regularly, monthly actually, go ahead and look for us on Patreon.
Okay.
Perfect. Bye, Ishes.
Bye.
Welcome to the show. We have another great episode.
I know today, some of my favorite people in the whole entire world. I love you guys. Met you guys a couple years ago. Only met you guys a few times, but still, thank you for coming on our show.
Yes,
absolutely. Thank you for having us.
We have Ken and
our
Danielle.
Ta-da!
Pleasure.
Heck yeah.
So you are like one of the foundations of why we started the podcast. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of we've talked about on the show in the past. There's been parties where issues have happened, crockpot party, things like that. And we have wanted to break that cycle. We want to make sure that, it's known that we want to normalize this, but also we want to be supportive of everybody in the community. Whether they're a competition and they're throwing a party on the same night as you or not, it shouldn't matter because there's enough room for, and this community is growing big enough that there's room for everybody.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I think your comment is perfect, and that is break the cycle.
Break the cycle.
Yes.
Let's make this an all-inclusive pod. Bring everybody in. Give everybody the opportunity to be who they truly are. So yes,
as it should be.
Good
That's
for
what
us.
this community is all about, right?
Yeah.
You bet.
So first season, we went to one of your parties.
Wonderful.
Yes, at the Summit House, and it was awesome. That was when Jen was our co-host, and Kenji was helping Drew behind the camera, and we just had a blast, and we loved you guys from the get.
Well, thank you.
We had a nickname for you, Hugh.
Uh-oh.
New age Hugh Hefner, people.
Yes.
There he goes.
I'm
Hugh
honored.
Hefner.
Oh, yes.
I'm honored.
Oh, yeah. Ken's even cooler. Yes. Oh, yeah.
May I do him justice?
Oh, gosh. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The new Hugh.
And I got to tell you, I have never been more impressed with a party than the way that you throw your parties.
Oh, my
Wonderful.
gosh.
Thank you.
Oh, my. From the spread.
Yeah.
Like, just the warmth and from everybody. I know.
They're so well organized. The food is the perfect food. Like it's something that you're okay with having a little bite, knowing that you're about to go, have a whole face full of cock.
That's right. It's a appetizer.
Yes.
Or tit, as the case may be.
Right.
That's right.
Or tit too.
That's right. Say the food is very, very light. It's not so overpoweringly smelly. Like if you had onions or anything. Oh, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
Well, and it's designed to be walking bites. There are no sauces, no plates. I mean, you can plate it up if you want, but you can just walk by and say, "Ooh, that looks good." Because one of my favorite parts is about midnight. We have naked men circling the table, pounding protein. Next, and they need to be able to access that easily.
Right.
Yes.
But even more important than the food, it's clean. It is one of the cleanest venues that we've ever been to. Like the sheets are clean. There's extra towels. Like I won't play in a place if it's not clean. Like I'm very picky. So we've played at your parties before, and I love how clean it is, how comfortable everything is, how you have the whole house set up. It's amazing.
Thank you. Well, that's kind of part of our occupation. I mean, our house also serves as a B&B during the week.
Oh, yeah.
A vanilla B&B, unfortunately, but
a
still.
A 420 B&B.
That's right.
A 420.
Yes.
Trendy.
That's right. But it has to be. We live there.
Yes.
It's our home.
Right.
And so these parties are not a commercial venue to us. This is people coming into our home, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
No, it's impeccable. I have to
thank you
from the start say that
thank you very
every
much.
one of your parties I've thoroughly enjoyed. So, when did you guys? Let's back up. How did you guys get in the lifestyle?
Holy mackerel! What a big question. I mentally, I think I've been a lifestyler, as it were, most of my life.
Okay.
I can remember when I was 20 years old reading the O'Neill's book called Open Marriage, and it made so much sense to me.
Okay.
Even though I came out of a very religious background prior to that point, there were things in my mind that said, these restrictions, these guilt trips, these false condemnations, none of this seems to jive with what I feel inside. And the O'Neills was a pretty remarkable book. It was one of the first big publications, I think, at the time that espoused more of an open ideal. And it really caught my attention. Of course, I didn't have much opportunity to live that thought or concept at the time. But as I got older, in my first and second marriages, we began to explore some of those possibilities. But it really wasn't until, just 7-8 years ago that I really had the opportunity for the first time to live those things which I'd wanted to do for so long. And then, of course, I ran into this wonderful woman here, and and together our two interests and energies jived together. And, well, I think it was one of our dear friends that you guys know on your program that said, gee, you guys should host and throw a lifestyle party. We got, wow. That's a great idea. We should. Right. So really, for me, active participation in the lifestyle didn't happen until probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I told you. Awesome. Love it. Love it.
What about you, Danielle?
When I was 18, I was going, okay, I'm graduated, I'm on my own, I'm living my own life, and I'm ready to start looking for partners.
Okay.
And at the time, I decided, okay, I need to look for 3 men. I need a playmate, a lover, and a romance.
Oh,
and
wow.
I did not assume that they would be the same person because
Why would you?
Right.
Oh, wow.
it didn't make sense. That I want 3 things, so I was looking for 3 people. And so I dated a bit, and I had some friends, and I really enjoyed having friends. And then I met my husband, who hit all 3 categories.
Oh,
So
wow.
I married at 21. I was married for 21 years, and it was an exclusive relationship.
wow.
And then when that ended, it was kind of funny because the joke was that because I had a lot of friends in a lot of different lifestyles, most of my friends were in either poly or BDSM.
Okay.
And so I was witness to both. They knew that I was not available. They pushed, they were like, well, how unavailable are you?
Right? And why wouldn't you?
Right. But to me, integrity is the only thing you bring to the table and take back with you. So
Thank
that's
you.
really important to
Thank
me.
you.
But when I was divorced, the joke was Danielle was not as promiscuous as some people feared or other people hoped.
True on both accounts.
Yeah.
So, but even then, serial monogamy never made sense to me. People lock into a single relationship, expect one person to meet all their needs, and you can't adjust a relationship without a cataclysmic event.
Right.
A heart must be broken in order to change the parameters. When that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
So I've always been naturally open,
Okay.
and I've been used to more of the, I guess the outside plays. Like you have a primary, and then you supplement.
Yes.
So then when I met Ken, he said, oh, let's do a swingers thing. What does that mean? He said, that's couples. I went, oh, okay. So dating as a couple was kind of odd to me. It's like, okay, how does that work?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, a dear friend said, oh, you've got a perfect house for parties. Okay. We actually built another room in our Parker house.
Okay.
We built, because I believe you were at the Parker house at the first
Yeah, I
party.
think
No,
so.
no,
no,
no.
I think
okay.
the first
Nope.
party was at the summer house.
Yep.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So we were at the Parker house, and we actually built a room in the basement that had the 2 rooms and the glory bunk in it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I had curtains and everything else. And we built that room, and we threw a party, and it was the first party we'd ever been to.
The first house party.
No way. You
we-
guys threw your own house party and it was the first one?
And,
Yeah.
he was talking about the ranch, and we have
Oh, my God.
So
And-
how did you know what
and-
to prep and like did you?
We had help. We had
Okay.
help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and there was another couple that had lifestyle parties that they had
Local lifestyle.
Uh-huh. And so their household parties are really well known. And so they came in and kind of co-hosted with us.
Oh, that's
And so they
Oh.
gave us information, and then they weren't able to follow through at the last minute. They're like, okay, this is your thing. And I was freaking out.
First party.
Yeah,
Oh, my
first
God.
party.
Yeah.
250 people.
Oh wow.
Stop it. That's
Wow.
You guys jumped in feet first.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that was the promotion of others. We just
Wow.
we
Yeah.
provide the venue.
Yes.
Okay.
and other people promoted the heck out of it. And we had 250 people. We didn't know what was happening.
Oh, wow.
My God.
And so we're going up and down stairs. And Ken, and I guess every house party, we didn't even know this, but every house party has its own kind of groove. It's like at a certain time, all the clothes hit the floor.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
our house is about a 10:30 house, it turns out.
The witching hour.
So about 11 o'clock, Ken goes, have you been downstairs? Or no, they dragged me downstairs. We went into the room that we made. I've never seen more naked butts in the air in my life. It was awesome.
High heels, 4 feet in the air.
Yes. So we're sitting there, it's like, and I mean, I wasn't even sexually aroused. I was just, my happy bubbles were like, there's so much joy in my house.
That's very true. Danyell is a remarkable gal. I've dated a number of women in my life and been married to more than one. And I must say that Danielle's attitude toward the lifestyle and human healthy happiness is really signature. It really defines the flavor of our parties.
Yes.
We want to provide an environment where people can be who they are.
Yes.
They can explore and learn or observe or just watch and be absolutely comfortable in an environment where there's no judgment. Not only no
Right.
judgment, but it's encouraged.
That's right.
You know,
Invitation, but
Yeah.
invitation's not obligation.
Well,
That's
exactly.
right.
I mean, once you're in the lifestyle, it sounds a well-worn phrase, but as long as we have been, and it's not been that long, you get used to healthy sexual attitudes.
Correct.
And you begin to discover how people can live if they really want to be free and open and honest, instead of what society tells us we should, must do. So that's what we try to make the hallmark of our parties, where people are welcome to come, to watch, to explore, to participate if they choose. So
It's
And-
always
and it is.
really comfortable.
And it is. No matter what, no matter where you go, no matter if you're upstairs or downstairs, everything is just always flowing so smooth.
plus, who else has such cool little cocktail tables?
Right?
Oh my God! With the lights underneath. Oh my God! You better stop.
The whole
place.
setup is amazing. Like I said, we walked in, we kind of crashed your party.
I
a
know the
couple
last
weeks-
time.
the
I'm
last
so
time we
sorry.
went.
You
So
did.
sorry,
That was
you guys.
wonderful.
God, it took us forever getting out there, and we were just like,
Our
we could
intense-
not go 20 minutes past our fucking initial starting point, and it was like,
We had to
we
turn
forgot
back.
something. So we finally get out there, and then it's like, we come in, we're expecting to see you guys like right there, and it's just, nope, everybody's just like, what the fuck are you doing here right now?
Everybody was so awesome.
You know,
Even,
yeah.
everybody was like, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. And I just remember immediately seeing you, Ken, when we came downstairs.
Mhm.
And you're just
Linen
so,
suit.
Linen suit.
Yeah, just
So
flowing.
chill, flowing around, checking everybody out, making sure everybody's doing good. And that's what I love about it. It's so, you just feel really comfortable there. You don't, as a woman, you don't feel like you have to cover up or you need to feel unsafe or like I went on every floor. I had to pee. So I immediately had to go all the way upstairs because the bathrooms
Right.
were downstairs,
Mhm.
were busy. And so it's just the comfortability is something that's hard to find.
Good. Thank you.
And you guys nail it.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
That is the goal.
That-
Is for people to
that's
feel
exactly the
comfortable
goal, yeah.
and safe.
And it's important.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about this. Once, of course, the duties at the door with registration and things are over, then we like to be ambassadors more than any other thing. And that is to just kind of mix and mingle with people, seek out those individuals or couples that might be off in a corner or sitting alone and just go up and say hi and say, gee, how you been? What's been your experience? What would you like to do? Is there anything I can help you with? Is there anybody I can help introduce you to?
Mhm.
Try to just let them know that they're welcome here and that they can really be themselves in a non-judgmental environment. So that's kind of what we try to do.
And you guys do. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So leading up to these amazing parties, you struggled. So that first party, it sounds like, was amazing,
It was.
but you got a little backlash, unfortunately, from within the community.
Mm.
Even before the first party.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It started
Yeah.
before the first party. And it's interesting you say from within the community. That's true, but we didn't know that for a long time.
Yeah,
Oh.
we believed
I-
that there was a religious group.
Exactly.
That was
I
po-
read that in your
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's,
okay.
that's where I personally thought it was coming from. Because
Which would make sense.
We'd
Right.
talked to some different people around, and that we knew that there was some associated efforts with, or very coordinated efforts with other organizations and other parties that were going on. And we thought, okay, could be, but of course you can never prove anything.
Mhm.
Right.
we didn't learn where the attacks were really coming from, which, as you mentioned, were within the community for a couple of years.
Till about last year.
Yeah.
So
holy crap.
But you were approached at a hardware store by a sheriff before the party even happened.
Before the first party even happened?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What?
Well, these folks, which
Yes.
will remain unnamed for our purposes, were very good at what they did. They wanted to attack all house parties. At least that's what the word on the street was.
And that word proved to be correct.
Well, the only thing we can tell you is what happened to us.
Yes.
There were similar things that happened to other groups, other parties, other organizations, and we don't have any evidence one way or the other whether they were involved or not. But let's just say the tactics were very similar. But in our case, yeah, Danielle's correct. This attack started even before our parties actually took place. The first party took place.
Wow.
As soon as the information and the word of the party got out and promotions started to happen, I was at Home Depot one day and I got a call on my phone that said, "This is Deputy so-and-so from the Dakota County Sheriff's Department. I wonder if we could come and talk to you." I said, "Well, I'm at Home Depot right now. You want me to come on?" I said, "No, why don't you stay right there? I'll come talk to you." So he met me in the parking lot of Home Depot.
Oh, wow.
What?
And he confronted me. He says, "Mr. Hampshire, yes. He verified identification." He says, "We have word that you are running an illegal house of prostitution. You're selling alcohol to minors. You're selling drugs out of your house, and blah 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 blah." And I kind of looked at him incredulously, and I said, "Well," kind of took me aback at first. I think, how do I respond to this?
Right.
I said, "Well, we do have a 420 friendly B&B. We work with 2 different attorneys in the marijuana industry.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked and talked with the police department and zoning people. We're absolutely legal. And in fact, I hope you can come back to the house and take a look at our facility. As far as the group orgy thing in the house of prostitution, the only thing I can say is we're a sex-healthy environment. We do have a hot tub. And sometimes people's swimsuits come off when they're in the hot tub. And I'm not going to say they can't do that." He goes,
Right.
"You're good. I just had to check up. You're fine."
Mm-hmm.
He was out of there. No problem at all. But you can see how effective those anonymous complaints to either
Yes.
police or zoning organizations can be, because you can't confront your accuser.
Right.
They can do it totally anonymously.
Right.
And whoever wants to attack someone can use legal, professional, governmental, or police, law enforcement organizations to be their lapdogs to do their bidding for them, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so scary.
It's pretty
It is.
remarkable.
So scary.
The first contact was from the sheriff's department, and then the police department. Because what happened over the course of events, the sheriff's department came out twice. The police department came out twice.
So
And
what?
because enough complaints were made,
Yes.
and they finally said, so that we
During
had conversations.
the events they came out?
No, we
before.
had conversations with them before the events, but it turned out good for us because
Okay.
that's when we found out that we could not offer alcohol
Legally.
for a donation
Yeah.
because that is construed as selling alcohol. So that's why we were one of the only parties on the circuit that had BYOB.
Oh wow, that's how it started.
So-
That's
so-
why everybody else does it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're BYOB self-serve.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not penalizing anybody. And by the way, your bottle is cheaper than a glass somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
and it's just the way you like it.
Yes.
So and it's like the rest of the party. You bring what you like and you share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle brings
But
up
that
a very
works with the alcohol too. But actually, so we call them the anonymous assholes were being our friends, because that's what we said is thank you anonymous assholes for making sure that our parties are perfectly legal.
Right?
Right.
Because then
Yeah.
you had to hit everything right on the
We
dot.
did.
Boom, boom,
In
boom.
fact, the night of our party, we were told that there would be a DUI check, and there were signs. There will be DUI checks in our neighborhood the night of that party, and that happened. And again, we're glad because that kept our party safe. Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
The-
Yeah, everybody, if you're gonna drink, get an Uber.
The-
You know?
250 promiscuous, responsible adults. What better way to promote the community?
Right.
Right.
Bang, baby.
Bam.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's how you came in. Oh hell yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they actually put a traffic sign
Yes.
on the street leading into our little community.
Mm-hmm.
A traffic sign, a DUI warning DUI sign. That
Wow.
It was real.
for the night of our party.
For the night of your party.
Yes, absolutely.
Specifically for you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are
Yes.
we have that much impact.
Famous,
yeah.
They
famous
just made
with
everybody
Douglas.
stay longer. So
Right. I
We're
know.
famous with Douglas County law enforcement.
Oh, fuck
So-
yeah.
But the bottom line on that is we finally contacted what happens when you get more complaints is that we really do not enjoy being used as a weapon for
Right.
our citizens.
Yes.
So if we get the sheriff department said, if we get a call in, this case is closed.
Yeah.
I said, what if it's a new
Yes.
complaint? Said, we can't investigate you any further. This case is closed. The police department said the same thing.
Bam.
Unfortunately, it didn't
So
end there.
it didn't end
Yes,
there.
it
No.
did not. Yes. Right?
So then
those
they went.
anonymous assholes found out.
Well, the thing that we learned, and in the investigations of the sheriff department and then zoning, and zoning is really what caught us because according to our zoning at the time, which was a residential district, we couldn't legally operate a B&B in a residential district.
Well, nobody can in Douglas County without a special permit.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you could name a dozen of them that are operating anywhere. And
There
we
were-
said,
Right.
so how is this
Right.
equal
Douglas
justice
County
under the law?
issued 4 permits for Airbnb.
Only 4?
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
sure there's way more than 4 people
Oh,
in Douglas County.
But the
with-
commissioner responds to complaints only.
They only do an investigation if someone
complaint-based.
complains. Well, how convenient.
Right?
Well, the perpetrators of this attack were very knowledgeable. They knew how to use both the police and zoning department to do their bidding. And so as a result of all of the interviews and investigations, we ended up having to close our B&B, which was one of our sources of income at our property in Parker.
Mm-hmm.
So we were forced to put that house on the market, put it up for sale, we sold it, and then we went looking specifically for homes that were zoned B&B.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like 6 properties in the greater Denver area. That was about it.
Oh, wow.
My,
And-
really?
And fortunately, Summit House was one of those.
Okay.
yeah, baby.
So as Danielle says, our asshole friends actually did us a pretty good favor because
right.
Summit House became a much better iteration in its second
Yes.
generation
Oh, yeah.
than it was in its
Oh
first.
my God!
I love
How
it.
big was the first house?
About 6,700 square feet.
How big is the new house?
8,500.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
So anyone with a vacuuming fetish,
Yeah.
talk to me.
It would be even better if they came and did it nude, right?
I said fetish.
Yeah. See.
Now, moving into this house was so much fun. It was 7 days because we do have the 420 B&B, and that is our bread and butter. So it was 6 days between receiving the key and getting our first B&B guest.
Oh, wow.
And we have insane friends all from the lifestyle community. They would come out every night after work. We had people come up from the Colorado Springs area
Canyon
and
City.
spend the night. And so we did have naked house scrubbing parties.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God!
Yeah.
So just getting it ready for.
There's a little sense of divinity in 6 days.
You should come to Ken and Danielle's house.
Yeah. Right. Right. Oh man, and what a community too.
Right.
When you guys needed some help, everybody stepped up.
Oh,
They were
without
just
doubt.
like, hey, what do you need, and we
Yeah.
will be there.
And
Eh,
they were.
Yeah, every party. Ken, Danielle, what do you need us to bring? What do you need us to
Exactly.
do? When
Yeah.
would you like us to be there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
awesome. And it's awesome that you didn't let any of the, I guess, roadblocks or speed bumps
Mhm.
stop you from doing this because the parties are fun. They've turned out great. And like I said, hands down, they're the best house parties that we've been to in terms of
Thanks.
from
Thank you very
beginning to end, from registration to your food to the cleanliness to
God, if you want to stay the night,
Right.
and then
Yes.
get up in the morning and have fucking brunch.
I
know.
We love
Sunday brunch.
That's
God.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
my
want to speak to
God.
something that you said though too, is in being able to move forward. Ken and I are in a unique position. We don't have to hide.
right,
There
That's
is
true.
nobody who doesn't know how we live.
right.
We don't have. We're not in government employees. We
We
don't
can't
have.
we can't be held hostage.
right.
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 Our families know our lives.
Oh,
There's
do
nobody
they?
Oh yes, they do.
Would-
Who in your family doesn't know your life?
Maybe my mom even has a hint.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, just how well do my kids know Dad? Well, I can tell you a story. Of course, the ranch, everybody knows the ranch here in town, and I was a member out there for a couple of years. And so we would go 2 or 3 or 4 times a month because you
Okay.
can go as many times as you want when
Right.
you're an annual member. So we'd been there, oh heavens, this was prior to my lovely Danielle's days, but so I was there with another gal, and we were having a wonderful conversation with a couple we'd just met. And all of a sudden, I noticed someone out of the corner of my eye that I knew my date would want to know was there. And so I very rudely interrupted their conversation. And I said, I don't mean to interrupt, but look right over there. And here comes my oldest daughter and son-in-law approaching.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Stop
Things
it.
you have to look forward to.
Right?
We were just talking about something like this scenario like earlier this week.
How?
Oh, fuck.
It was so funny because my daughter and her husband were sitting at the little love seat next to the pool room. And they got there before we did, and they'd been there 10, 12 times. We had no idea. And our wires had never crossed before. And so they were sitting there that night. They told us this later, of course. We were just talking to each other about different things and said, well, dear, who would you least like to see us here at the ranch? And my daughter says, well, probably my old boyfriend so-and-so, and I can understand that. And she said, how about you? And my son-in-law says, well, he thought about it a minute, probably my father-in-law. She said, 10 minutes later, well, don't look now because he just walked in.
Son of a bitch. Oh, my
So
God.
that was kind of the talk of the ranch that night.
But then your son and his
Oh, yeah,
wife
good point.
helped set up the AVI for the first two parties.
Oh, wow.
And they're not engaged in the lifestyle, but I mean, who doesn't love dressing up?
Right.
And they're not afraid of flesh. So I mean, when your son walked into the bedroom and I'm getting dressed for the party, I was like, "Hi, this is your dad's new girlfriend." He's like, meh, and walked out.
All right.
Now, you left out a very important part where your girlfriend was getting ready. You neglected to say what state of dress you were in.
Well, I had all the important parts. I had the fishnets and the pearls on.
I love it.
Well, I mean,
Well,
the important parts are not.
Welcome
everything
to
was,
the
important parts were
family.
off.
and nudity needs to be normalized.
Absolutely.
Exactly, and that's what we're talking about. Is not just nudity.
Yeah.
It's, we want to normalize natural.
Right.
What's natural?
Thank you very much.
So you run into your kids at the ranch. So at this point, everybody knows your lifestyle,
Pretty much.
and that was unique to you guys because nobody could use it against you.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, that put us in a unique position.
Uh-huh.
So going forward, it's not like we could be compromised. Other people who were also under attack, they were compromised within their communities. We know of somebody who lost their job
What?
because of this. The crockpot episode
Yes.
specifically, he lost his job.
Oh, wow.
There were, and for some people, there were custody issues that came up as a result of this. There were people who actually.
And we
Oh
can't
my
say that
God.
these same people were responsible for these
no.
things, but the
Similar
tactics
attacks.
were identical.
Similar
Yeah.
attacks.
There in one case, there were people who were not even actively involved in the lifestyle, but they provided venue for lifestyle events, and letters were sent to their children's school and to his place of employment. So
Wow.
it's
Senior executive at a bank, and he got letters to them.
Stop
to the bank.
it.
And
That's-
so-
these people have no conscience.
So,
Right?
so this is not about protecting the community when you're actually hurting people,
Right.
their
Right.
children, their income, where they live. That's not protecting anything. That's straight out
Yeah,
attack.
that's a thing.
And over
That's
lies.
so vile.
Or lies.
Yeah, because it's not like they're telling the truth that these are all adults. We're all consenting adults.
Right.
There's no exchange of funds going on. We're not,
Right.
Mhm.
that's not the case.
Right.
And when you lump in that there's children involved or
Right.
alcohol given to minors or illegal drugs involved, all of that stuff, it has even more consequences. It blows something that's nothing into
Right.
something that's big.
In fact, that's something that I do. I mean, I grow mama bears sometimes, but that's one when you said, because we run so many different businesses out of our home.
Right.
We've got the B&B, and then Ken has an online business. We have another business outside of that, and all of us run through our homes. So we are very, very careful.
Right.
So it is explicit. I have actually kicked people out of our parties for having illegal drugs on our premises.
Oh, yes.
Because
yes.
alcohol is legal, marijuana is legal, mushrooms are decriminalized within Denver, but not at our house.
Right.
Okay.
Right, they're
okay.
Right,
Oh,
because
interesting.
they're
Yeah, it's a
different
different
county and they're not legal. They're decriminalized.
Yeah.
And again, I'm all about normalizing natural. people can do what they want to do, but we will not compromise
No,
Right.
not
our
at all.
household.
No,
Yep.
And so there are no illegal activities permitted, even passively. I won't even nod and wink. That's got to go.
No, good stuff.
And
good stuff.
in a larger perspective, this whole experience has taught us the one thing that must never be compromised, and that is privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that these people actually went to Cassidy, to our RSVP page, took those pictures of people, our own guests, screenshots, facial pictures, copied them, and sent them throughout our whole neighborhood, everybody except us, of course.
Yes.
That violated the most sacred trust of the lifestyle.
Thank you.
And
Yes. Thank
and that, we knew that we would probably get a little backlash from pointing the finger as we did. And we certainly got some from Cassidy, and we can't blame them because we violated their rules of conduct on Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so important an issue, it had to be done. It had to be
Agreed.
stated. This stuff cannot be allowed to go
No.
on, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a call for the community to step up and,
That's exactly right.
and put our foots down and say, we're not okay with this.
Thank you, Justina.
Take that
That's
somewhere
perfect.
else.
Yes.
Because it's about supporting each other. There's enough room, like we've said over and over and over. There is, we could open up 10 more clubs. There could be 50 more house parties every weekend.
And more people would openly attend.
Exactly.
Yes.
It would just cause the community to be bigger. It's not going to take away from anybody.
Right.
There's enough beds for everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there is.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right, yes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Plenty of beds and plenty of orifices
Yeah.
for everybody.
That's
You
right.
know?
And
And there are those who are willing to share.
right.
All of the above mentioned.
And we've talked about this before, and it's a huge point. 90% of these clubs do not have security. They're not your traditional club where you go to downtown and you go out for a drink and you have to walk through security and there's
Right.
security walking around. It's not like that because we police ourselves.
Right.
And as soon as we stop policing ourselves, that's when we're going to have issues. And so I think as a whole, whether it's at a house party, whether, it's at a club, we need to make sure that we're keeping the community safe and we're
Right.
protecting each other.
It even goes beyond policing ourselves, I think, just in a house party situation, especially in ours, it's more of a family situation.
Right.
That's right.
I would guess, babe, what would you say? At least 50%, maybe 70% of our people have been there multiple times that we've gotten to know on a very personal basis. We've gone to dinner, we've traveled with these people outside of parties and so on. So this is more of a family thing. And when we see something that is outside of acceptable norms, anybody can take action immediately. So it's, I think it's the safest possible venue that a person could ever go to.
And to actually enhance the safety and security issue, yes, we do have police at our party. They
That's
are
true.
naked and on the guest list.
That's
That is
true.
right.
But they-
That's right. I met somebody last time that
That's
way. I was
right.
like, oh, wow. Okay.
We have EMTs. We have first responders. We have security. They're just naked and on the guest list.
Right.
But when there is a crisis, there was someone who found
had-
themselves in crisis,
They were in a health
and
crisis,
there were responders right there, and everything was taken care of.
Right.
And it was felt very secure, and people commented, "Oh, we didn't realize that kind of safety was in place." Yeah,
Yes,
baby.
it is.
Well, we can't say
Yes.
that it's there every time by structure, but in
Right.
most of the time that's the
Yeah.
case. Yeah.
That was one of the jokes. We heard that the police showed up at your party. I said, yes, they did.
They did.
And they only
were in the
stayed for
basement.
3 hours.
Yeah, they're in the basement downstairs.
That's right.
Excuse me, ma'am. We're going to need an in-depth questionnaire, please.
Cavity search. Cavity search.
So what does your future look like for these parties?
More.
Yeah, I don't think more on a quantity standpoint, but more and better parties.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the more people that find out that they have an opportunity to explore and experience, hopefully we'll have more guests that come and enjoy Danyell and all the good food and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And all of it. All the good stuff.
What happens when you get new people? Do you ever get people that have never been in the
Yeah.
lifestyle
All the
whatsoever?
time.
We have-
all
All
the
the
time.
time.
All-
Okay.
Every party.
We're
Okay.
we're told we have a reputation that we're a safe place for new people to be. I've never been to a party, but I was told it's a good place to be. We love having them because, as you know, we give when people get there on time, they get a house tour.
Luckily, we already know all the rules.
So anyone who hasn't been there before, they get a house tour. And so while we're not just showing them the footprint, we're also introducing them to the environment. This is the vibe. This is what you expect. This is where you can step in. This is where you can step out.
Okay.
And so they're given all that. And if you have any questions, find us. If we're not available, talk to these people because they're part of our family, and you can talk to them as well.
Yes.
Because sometimes you don't want to talk to mom and dad. You just want to talk to somebody who, one of the cool kids.
Right.
Yeah, you can never tell when they're just trying to tell you a story.
Now, at one point, we actually got walkie-talkies, and they're just bright, colorful, like family going camping walkie-talkies, and we put them around. And somebody said that made them feel really safe and secure.
Huh.
It's just seeing that they were there, knowing that somebody could communicate anything, dirty towel or bad behavior.
Right.
Right then. Right then.
Yeah.
Bam.
It's like a lifestyle ski patrol.
Right.
Skiing.
Got it.
Skiing is one of our favorite events in the hot tub.
How does that happen, Danielle?
So much skiing takes place in the hot tub.
Really?
Absolutely. Double pole, a little slalom. Yeah.
You know where she's going with that. Oh, yeah.
We've got skiers. We've got snorkelers.
Cross country,
Oh, yeah.
downhill.
All of it. All of it.
Well,
And yes, we have a hot tub.
Yes, you do.
Tell them how we came up with the glory bunk.
Yes.
Well, I'll let you tell that story. I will tell you a story about the glory
So
bunk
many
as well.
stories.
But it's a different aspect. So you mentioned the house tours and the tours when people come for the first time. So we show them around the house so they're comfortable and familiar with the bathrooms are and the different playrooms and where they are, what goes on there, and how they're
And etiquette.
the open door, the closed door etiquette, and all those kinds of things which are so important. And then we go into our glory bunk, our playroom.
I know.
And they look and they say, well, this is very interesting. This is very good. This is very fun. And, we have bunks over here. That's wonderful. And they get ready to walk. And I say, no, look more closely at the bunk. And so they bend down and they take a look up at the third bunk and they see these two holes there. And then you see their brains starting to process.
Yep.
And the gears are turning around and they're going, well, what? Because now a lot of your listeners probably understand a glory bunk or a glory hole, what that means. But some people aren't.
Right.
This is true.
And they look at that and they go, well, how does that work? And they're thinking, and we just kind of give them a few minutes and say, figure it out. And then when I have a group of guys there, or I'll take the guys aside, the gals are standing there, and I'll just say, listen, gentlemen, let me just tell you this. Until you're in that middle bunk, and there's a wonderful woman up top, with her boobs hanging, you say, you haven't lived until you got a pair of boobs hanging in your face.
Right there. Yes, sir.
And the way I introduce it too is like, we've got the double mattress and we have this wedge pillow. We've got this lovely wedge pillow because sometimes your neck gets tired. We want our guests to be comfortable.
Yes, that is correct.
You should tell them your story about you in the bottom bunk that time.
Oh, okay. So actually, so one winter, we had the smallest party ever.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 couples show up.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So there were 8 of us. It was that was February blizzard, and it was
Arguably the most infamous party, however.
well, it wasn't infamous. There was no fame involved, but it was entirely delightful because we actually got to go on the rides.
Oh,
It was almost like Disneyland. So we went from room to room, from feature to feature,
All
and
8
we
of
did
us.
it in all 8 of us because we didn't have. So it would be like at an amusement park.
Right.
And so we went to we got in the room with the glory bunk, and there was a woman on top. And the glory bunk has 2 holes, so you have access to the memories and to the glory spots. And so there were 3 men standing there giving her all kinds of attention. But this is a 3-tier bunk.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going, there's a bottom bunk. So I crawled into the end and I had a glockenspiel.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So
Danyell, what could you mean by that?
Yeah, right.
and it's funny because they're like, oh yeah. And it got real quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So they're giving and getting, and I was just so happy.
The fondling at the top suddenly stopped. And what?
What?
Attention is redirected.
And then it continued.
I love it. Oh, gosh. You guys have a million stories, I bet.
And you have everything. You have a Sibian in the
Yes.
other room,
Yeah.
and you have a cross.
Yes.
And
Ruby, she's new.
oh, she has a name. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
She
know, right?
does. So that's one thing, because again, I come more from the BDSM side, and I was surprised to find out that the swingers community in general, global, is still fairly heteronormative. There's
Yes.
not a lot of room for man on man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for. There's a lot of not a lot of understanding about the nature of what I call percussive play. Many of our friends, in fact, that's one of my fun stories. Is many of our friends really have the impression that any kind of percussive play is abusive or degradation, and they're why would anybody want to be hit type thing, and anyone who engages that must be abusive. Well, one of our, in fact, we used to give out. We used to have door prizes.
Okay.
And so somebody won one of those cute little crops, it's just a little leather heart on one end and another thing. Well, and then she won that. It turns out she has a very natural wrist. And she smacked her husband on the butt, and he did not like that.
Oh.
But there was another young woman said, "Oh, you could try that on me." And so we had a woman that identifies as a pain slut. She actually is aroused by intense sensation. So what's really nice about having a pain slut in the house is you can't break them when you're learning. So this young woman was bent over a bar stool, and the new woman was giving her lots of action. People were in the room. There are about six other men and women sitting in the room. They're like, "We're not sure how we feel about this." And but I know it was relatively light play. And so the woman that was bent over went up on her heels. And I grabbed the other woman by the wrist, said, this is where you need to wait. You need to go in and use the smooth spot part of the paddle. You need to touch her, drive your hand up her back, whisper in her ear, make sure that she's okay, check in with her.
Right.
And then don't touch her again until, percussively, until she drops her heel back. And I'm saying this out loud. I was a high school teacher. I can project a very quiet voice so that everyone can hear me. So I made sure everyone in the room was involved. And so she dropped back on her heels, and then she went back up, pap, 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 pap. Woman went up on her heels. The entire room went, when she came down, went, as in, get her. And at that point, the entire room, who wasn't sure how they even felt about someone being struck in any way, they're engaged in energy exchange, breath play, power play.
Yeah.
And every time she went up, they're like, and the whole room held. And then she dropped, they're like, and it was awesome. And I turned around, and then we talked about it. We actually had a debrief in a sex party. Said, how do you guys feel about that? I said, that was hot.
Well, because it's constantly education.
Yeah.
Sex is fun. There's always new things to try. There's always new things to learn. There's, what if we do that? And what if we put that there?
It's a game. None of it's serious.
It is. And nobody's mastered it all.
No.
Because a different partner can mean you learn something new or try something different or have access to different areas. And it's all, it's all education all the time. You're always learning.
Oh man!
So that's where Ruby came in. A friend of ours made a cross for me, and I just finished painting a room upstairs red.
Okay.
A one wall, an accent wall. And I'm going, am I really going to paint a cross red? I said, why not? They're usually brown or black. I said, I've got this red paint, and so Ruby.
Right.
Oh,
And she-
I love it.
And that's why Ruby has her own room. Also, people can step in and watch, or I'm not sure how I feel about that, and step out again. And we have some friends who are very active in the BDSM community. They're like, can we do this out in the main room? So like, no.
We have to be somewhat concerned. A lot of our guests are not that familiar with the BDSM side. So we try to give them the opportunity to taste if they choose. And we'll try to put those off to one side or in a little private corner so that everyone doesn't feel that they're obligated to take part or that it's a part of the ordinary turn of events. But it does give them the opportunity. So I like you said, I think that's important. People can explore, can try new things, or at least witness new things if they want. So
and that goes into the comfortability level,
Right.
because it's just off to the side,
And
your own room.
And we're not
Enter at your own
closeting.
risk.
Yeah, when we closet it, we're not shaming that behavior
That's
at
right. No,
all.
not at all.
But we also don't know who has past experiences that are going to be triggered by something that they see or hear, and we don't want them to feel unsafe.
Yeah.
But you know what? It makes it fun because each room, like you said, is a ride.
Yeah.
So you go in one room and there's beds in the Sibian, and then the other room there's the glory hole bed, and then there's the cross. And the last time we were there in the basement living room, they were doing tying,
Tying and hot wax.
and hot wax.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you go outside and you have the hot tubs.
Yeah.
And then you have your 420 friendly room that's downstairs as well.
We remove all the 420 elements because all smoking is outside at that
Yep.
point.
At the parties.
Yep.
Now that one room, that what we call the garden room, during for B&B, we have so those awesome cocktail tables.
Yeah.
Those are in that room. And that's where we have the volcano and the e-nail and paper and the pipes and bongs. I've got all the glassware. People need to show up with their bud only.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bud or wax or
Amazing.
concentrate. Yeah, all the toys are there because who's going to travel with a bong in their backpack,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, we know some people, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
know.
easy.
It's,
Yeah.
It's not
It's not
viable.
easy. It's not easy.
No,
Yeah.
not viable.
So yeah, that's Summit Villa 420 is the link to the B&B. So
Summit Villa 420.
Right.
Summit Villa 420 will take you to our Airbnb,
Wonderful.
Okay.
and all the rooms are listed there, and you can see all the amenities. And people come in to see the mirror and the tiger.
Oh yeah.
And,
oh
uh,
yeah.
That big mirror.
And,
Yeah.
and Oliver.
Oliver.
People come to see Oliver, too.
He was in bed by the time they got there.
Who was Oliver?
He's our little year-old Bichon puppy. And
You guys got a puppy since
people love
he
him.
wasn't out when
He
we
was.
He was in
sleeping.
bed.
He
He-
was sleeping.
because
He was in bed.
I'm
Mom
sure.
was busy. Mom was busy when we showed up. We didn't see her for about the first hour and a half.
Yeah. We didn't see Mom for a while.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, and you know what else I love is your huge pinwheel in the backyard.
Isn't that
thing-
fun?
Oh, I fell in love with it right away. I was
We
my
learned after the fact,
Mhm.
after we sold our house in Parker and moved to Watkins. We learned after the fact through direct conversation, I guess, with our neighbors. But the comments were very plain to understand. But one of the things that really bothered our more conservative neighbors in Parker was the fact that we had a gay pinwheel in the backyard, multicolored.
They
gay.
say that
The
what,
ga- the-
what
the
they say
gay-
that the offensive pinwheel, and it took us a while to figure out what was offensive about
It's
our
rainbow.
pinwheel.
It's rainbow colored.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys
Offensive.
moved.
I know, right?
So am I. So
Right.
glad.
I mean,
Too many
God.
colors.
that's a level of judgment that didn't even enter my mind.
Right? I mean, come on. It's a pinwheel.
Wow.
Right.
That's the name of the
pinwheels.
episode. The offensive pinwheel.
The comment was, "You're taking that pinwheel with you, right?"
Oh gosh.
Oh my God, no. We're
Yes.
gonna multiply it and put it in everybody's
Yeah,
backyard.
right.
need to go through and put the little baby pinwheels in everybody's
Right,
yard.
Right?
God.
Yeah.
It's
not-
amazing
But-
to
How could you
me.
even?
Our-
I
our-
couldn't even fathom
But our
that.
neighbors
It's
now are
unbelievable.
fabulous. We told them all at the first party at this location,
Uh-huh.
we're going to throw a party, and it's not that you're not welcome. We just want to make sure you're comfortable. And they're like, what? I said, well, it's going to be a toga party, and togas fall off. Like, okay, we're all out here on the plains, so we don't have to worry about what anybody else does.
Right.
One neighbor complains that our parties are too quiet. She goes, if people are having fun, I want to at least hear the music. And that's
Stop it.
That's our
Oh
next door
my
neighbor.
God.
Another neighbor behind us said, well, can I come to your party? I said, do you have your wife's permission? He goes, no. I said, well, when you work that out, you can come to the party. He
Right.
goes, well, if you see lights flashing in the distance, he goes, that's my binoculars. I said, we will make sure that we all wave to you from the balcony. So every party, I make sure that there's a couple pairs of tits out there waving at the neighbors.
Oh my God. Of course you do.
It's what we do.
I know.
It's amazing to me
We're-
what people will
we're
get upset about.
A comedy.
Isn't it though?
A colorful
Yes, you are.
pinwheel.
Yes,
Colorful
you are.
pinwheel. Yeah.
It's a pinwheel.
So this morning we were getting our coffee, and I'm sure you guys have heard of the expression FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
Yes.
And so at Starbucks, they had little Post-it notes of people putting positive phrases, and one of them was get used to FOPO, and it's fear of other people's opinions. Like, who gives
Right.
a fuck?
Right.
Like, if you are that upset because my pinwheel has lots of colors, then you need something better to do with your life.
It's called therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
it. A lot of it.
I can't thank you guys enough for coming on the show. And before we leave, Ken, you brought something that
I
I would
did.
love for you to read.
I'd love to read it.
Yeah, because
Please.
it's beautiful. Please.
I stumbled across this a few months back, and it is so encapsulated the attitude that I personally have about human sexuality, but it also, I think, defines much of what we try to accomplish at our house parties. And it simply says this: patriarchy teaches us that sex for women is a giveaway, while for men it is a takeaway. She saves herself, gives herself to the right one, and then her virginity is lost. In this equation, there's nothing in sex that's for her to take, whereas he takes and scores, and there's nothing in sex for him to give. When her mind is programmed to give, she struggles to say no. When his mind is programmed to take, he struggles to accept no. Trying to teach consent without first eradicating purity culture and normalizing female pleasure is like trying to teach a bird how to fly after you've chopped off its wings.
I love that.
Purity culture.
Beautiful.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much.
I love how beautiful you two souls are.
I know.
Thank
you
you.
for joining
I know.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. All we can hope from this is that this is all put to bed. That nobody has to go through what you guys have gone through in the past or other people in our community have suffered through. Because as a community in a whole, we love each other and we want to be supportive of each other. And we're very supportive of you guys, and we really appreciate you coming here and supporting us.
Thank you.
Indeed.
And I cannot believe something so bad happened to something so great
To
people.
some people
you
that
know,
are so great.
I cannot
Absolutely.
believe that.
But it's out now.
It
So,
is.
so
And now-
like you said, the community takes care of itself. Because it was done in secret, there was no recourse.
Right.
Now that it's known, if anybody were to step out and engage in this kind of behavior again, they would be shut down hard.
As they
Right.
should be.
And
Yes.
if anybody out there is more interested, you guys have an open letter to the community that's
Yes.
on Cassidy.com. What's your Cassidy?
It's not on
No.
Cassidy.
Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. Okay.
Wait,
No.
It's going to be
no.
on our website.
It'll
It
be
will
on
be
our
on our
website.
website.
Right.
It's an open letter to the community, and I really
Because
think
we name Cassidy members, it could not be put on Cassidy.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that if as a community, we should all educate ourselves on this because
Thank
only
you.
we can prevent forest fires.
Excellent. Thank
That's
you for
right,
saying that.
Smokey.
That's right, Smokey.
Go, Smokey.
All right, Ishes, you know where to find us. Go to Monogam-ish-podcast.com and check out that letter. Make sure you understand that we're all here to be inclusive and supportive of everybody in this community, whether it's the BDSM, kink community, or the swinger community. We all want you to live your best lives. So make sure you go check it out. Have a great day, Ishes.
Bye.
Bye.